We're taking you live now to Adelaide, where Foreign Minister Penny Wong is speaking.
It did not give the Palestinian mission membership of the United Nations. It did not give the Palestinian mission voting rights at the General Assembly. What it did do, consistent with a two-state solution, was to express the General Assembly's aspiration for Palestinian membership of the United Nations, noting that this must be recommended by the UN Security Council, consistent with the UN Charter. It did not indicate the United Nations or Australia recognise a Palestinian state. It did reaffirm the international community's unwavering support for the two-state solution of Israel and Palestine living side by side in peace and security within recognised borders. I want to say this is a clear rejection of the goals and methods of Hamas. A two-state solution, both Israel and Palestine, is the opposite of what Hamas wants. Hamas does not want peace, and it does not want long-term security for the State of Israel. The rejection of Hamas is amongst the reasons why Australia voted for this resolution. Australia has long believed that a two-state solution offers the only hope for breaking this endless cycle of violence and the only hope of achieving lasting peace. Now, Australians know we're not central to resolving this conflict, but what Australians do want is Australia to add our voice to the efforts of the international community to broker peace, and that is what we have done. This resolution enables expanded Palestinian participation in the UN, and in doing this, the international community is setting out its expectations that parties resume negotiations for tangible progress. Obviously, we consulted with partners around the world because we have to be part of a responsible international coordinated effort towards lasting peace. I would make the point that much of our region and many of our partners also voted yes, including our ally New Zealand, our special strategic partner Japan, our comprehensive strategic partners Indonesia, Singapore and the Republic of Korea. Having said that, this isn't the way we would have done things or the resolution Australia would have proposed, but we have to deal with the vote that is before us. Now, we all know one vote won't on its own end this conflict. It has spanned our entire lifetimes, but we all have to do what we can to build momentum towards peace. I want to be extremely clear again. This vote is not about whether Australia recognises Palestine. We will do that when we think the time is right. What we would say, and what I do say, is Australia no longer believes that recognition can only come at the end of a peace process. It could occur as part of a peace process. I've been clear there is no role for Hamas in a future Palestinian state. A Palestinian state cannot be in a position to threaten Israel's security. And I would say this, the Palestinian Authority has a role to play here. We want to see a Palestinian Authority that has undertaken the necessary reforms for it to take up its responsibilities over a unified West Bank and Gaza. We want to see a Palestinian governing authority that is committed to peace, that disavows violence and is ready to engage in a meaningful political process. We want to see a commitment to peace and how the Palestinian Authority leads its people. We also know that the final status of key issues such as Jerusalem and the final territory of a Palestinian state should be defined through negotiations. Now, I want to make some remarks directly to the Australian Jewish community. I understand that the Australian Jewish community are feeling distressed and isolated. I want to say you are valued members of our community. You have a right to be safe. You have a right to feel safe. Anti-Semitism has no place anywhere. I stand against it. We all must stand against it. This resolution that we have supported is about long-term peace and security for both Israelis and Palestinians. And I truly believe that the only path to securing peace and security for Israel is with the establishment of two states.